Hello, everybody, and welcome to the fourth episode of Mac's Mind. Of course, I'm your host, Mac Paladin, and as the title suggests, I'm contemplating our recent success with Indiegogo and such. I'm reporting to you live from my little miniature living room in my room here. So, of course, you've got Soray from Tales of Zestiria in the background here, and of course, we've got the Hyrule Warriors poster, so that way you have something interesting to look at besides my ugly mug. But yeah, the Indiegogo campaign completed, and we're looking at about $284, which isn't too bad. I was really hoping we could go all the way with this one, but you know, sometimes things don't always work out that way. Nonetheless, I think we did considerably better than we did last time, considering that I had to actually solicit donations privately to get the first episode completed and start on episode 2. And we didn't get enough to pay the actors, unfortunately, so that was kind of a hard hit emotionally. But this time we got enough to at least get started, pay a couple of our principal actors and a couple of our secondary actors, and obviously I'll have to self-finance in order to get the rest of it going, because we do need to buy more art assets. I do have some outstanding debts to the artists and so on and so forth. So before we, move on to that, I'll be squaring up with some folks, especially since unfortunately some of the finances have been in the negative column of late. So while we're still plugging away with that, it's been a little difficult, and I'll try not to bore everybody with the details on that, because once again, I'm not trying to make it your flag to carry or anything like that. Now, as far as our shows are concerned, everybody's still proceeding on recording with the Lavenders, and in the interim, while we're waiting for the funds disbursement from Indiegogo and such, I've talked to Keith, and we're trying to finish the Death of Perseus movie. And I know a lot of people expected that we were going to do a TV series out of Origins, but I'm starting to realize that that's somewhat impractical to make it a full series concurrently with a Starship Moonhawk animated series with a lot of the same characters, as well as Covert Ops and Cosmic Feline and, some of the films that we have planned. I think it's better to actually do them as multi-part films that we'll be releasing through YouTube as we create them. And we made some progress on that, so we've got the next scene going. For those of you who may be confused, like if you've read my novels before and are saying, well, it seems like it's slightly different than the books. Anytime there's a question of canonicity, as far as, which items should be prioritized, when we make it into an animation, that is the final version. So if there are conflicts between the two narratives, then the animation always wins, largely because of the expense and time and accessibility to everybody. Now, I don't want anybody to feel cheated about the adaptation. Obviously, whenever Hollywood adapts a novel into a movie or something like that, there's always a disparity or something like that, due to the creative vision of the directors and producers and so on and so forth. So, just wanted to clear that up really quickly. Next item on the agenda is the continuation of the Starship Moonhawk webcomic, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks I should have a bunch of things squared up, so that way we can actually consistently update that without any additional problems. The entire first season of the animated series is actually predicated on the completion of the comic, at least the couple of storylines we have going right now. And then the webcomic will actually branch off and tell a story that is not part of the animated series narrative. So you'll actually have an incentive to consume both pieces of media in that the animated series will have one direction and the comic will go a different direction. So we are actually planning that so that way people don't feel like, well, geez, why should I, watch the animation if the comic's going to be the same thing all along? It won't. Also, the second major storyline in the webcomic will actually address things that will be coming up soon in the new Cosmic Feline series. So we're pretty excited about that. As I said at the outset of this video, the Lavenders recordings will continue. Caitlin French said she got sick this week, so it's going to take a little longer to get that. And of course, we have to set up live direction for some of our other actors who have requested it. So that, hopefully we'll have at least one more episode within a month, and continue that on throughout the remainder of the year. And let's see here. And we'll begin production of, as I said, of Covert Ops probably in August, so that way we can get episode 2 out by the estimated deadline from the Indiegogo campaign. And I have to get our wide format printer repaired in order to print out the posters for the couple of people who bought into the higher tiers on there. We will actually be mailing out physical rewards hopefully within the next month, but we will definitely make the September deadline, even if I have to go over to Costco or something like that, or Sam's Club, and have them printed in the print shop. They will be mailed out. And what else did I have in mind? I was thinking of something else here. That's the danger of a live, unscripted podcast. You never know when you're going to forget your materials. Novels. I know some people have been wondering if I was going to continue the Starship Moonhawk novels. Well, I do have to create more fodder for the Origin series of movies. And as I said, those are going to be standalone films based on the books that we are actually creating. The first thing that's going to happen is the long-awaited, people have been waiting, I've been talking about this for 11 years now, the long-awaited Fire in the Forge origin story is actually chronologically the first storyline officially in Starship Moonhawk, meaning that it actually explains the how the crew got together and some of the players involved with moving and shaking in the galaxy throughout the Starship Moonhawk universe. So that's kind of important because that book explains why Coulson and Cobalt see each other as their nemesis. It also introduces us to the characters of, say, William Eubanks, the Grand Admiral, and at least in dialogue, as well as quite a few other things that we have planned. We have a movie planned called Lexington, which is supposed to be about this vessel commanded by a aging and veteran captain who doesn't seem like the friendliest guy in the world. But before we do that prequel story that actually has spoilers for the Fire in the Forge in it, because there's a reveal at the end of Fire in the Forge that I'm not sure everyone will see coming. And so I'm actually working on that. And what I've decided is that the book is starting to get unruly. So I'm going to split it into 3 novellas. Instead of a single, 300-page book, it'll end up being 3 100-page books. And I'll be selling each of those parts eventually through Amazon. And what we'll do to try to offset the expense of getting them. By the way, you will be able to get them for free if you have Prime. You'll be able to get them through Kindle Direct for free. But to offset that cost, we will try to put bonuses and extras and production sketches and artwork and things into the books, like we did with Death of Perseus, because that book was way too short on its own to pass muster and take in that kind of money. So hopefully everybody will be excited about that, because I think that sets up a lot of stuff. I've been hinting at certain things that really need to be revealed, and withholding that book has been making it difficult to make good on those promises. So, because there's quite a few things that wouldn't make sense otherwise. So, be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, buy our other books, download, purchase the soundtrack album, and help us make more films and episodes, and help us grow the channel. Of course, don't forget to smash like and subscribe wherever it appears on the video here, and watch our other videos. Again, I'm Mac. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Bye.